Hey everybody, Scott Detweiler here, and today we're going to talk about my importing workflow. So as a person that used Lightroom for the longest time and came from catalogs and found that when I came to Capture One, they have this thing called sessions, which I immediately rejected because they have catalogs too, so I went that way. Now I have many videos on this. I'm not going to go into depth about why sessions are better, but I just kind of want to talk about super briefly. This is my Q Drive photos, Capture One sessions, and all of my sessions are named with the date and name of whatever it is that I shot, and that's it. So it's kind of the same way you would use, I'm sure, your file naming in Lightroom, but in here I can go in and look at what I'm doing, and then I also get my 4 folders: my capture folder, my output folder, my selects, and my trash. So I can choose which folders get backed up more than others. And I can also choose which projects get backed up more than others. Plus, each of these things loads so fast. Because if you look at the size of this thing, it's tiny, tiny little files load fast. So rather than torturing myself with the catalog, I found that sessions just work better. Okay, so how do I use sessions and how do I do my import? So here's what I do. This is a live stream I had done before. I'm going to import some photos I shot today and have not looked at them yet. So I'm seeing them for the first time just as you are, and I'm hoping they're awesome, but you never know. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to do File, I'm going to do New Session, and I always name mine with a date. So it's year 2020, so I'm just going to put the last digit there, 06 for the month, and then 27, and then I'll put a hyphen, and then what I shot that day. So it'll be Gabby and Holland dresses. So this is what it's going to be. And notice it creates all these same 4 directories for every session. It's standard. If you wanted to rename them and you wanted something different, then you can always create a template and use that. But this is how I do it. And this is a thing that Lightroom users have difficulty in grasping, is that these are still the files on the hard drive. There's no magical place they're put. They're not in a master database. It's kind of just like reading directly from the hard drive, which makes it a lot easier to back up and also to wrap your head around it. Notice that it creates this capture name, and this is what it's going to call the session at the top. So I'm just going to hit OK, and we're going to have a new blank session. All right, once the session loads, you'll see that it comes up as just kind of a generic thing like this. And if you click in any of these folders, you see that there are no images because we haven't imported anything. So you just go up here and click on this icon to import your images. And I have the chip loaded there, and you see it's just going to load in a bunch of stuff. And again, I haven't looked at any of these, and you see in several cases my strobe did not fire, so I'll have to delete those, but that's fine. I'm still going to import everything. That's just the way that I am. And so I did a bunch of different stuff, bunch of different looks, but they're all YouTube safe, so I can load them in here. Usually I do a body paint, and then that's a problem, so here I don't have to worry about it. So it looks like I have 265 images to import. And now you'll notice it has this format. It just calls image name. If you wanted to put a prefix inside it in front of this, you could do it here. I just load them like this. I also use a metadata preset, which contains all my copyright information. And that's down here under styles. And I did a whole video on this again as well. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll link it somewhere. But that's that loads in my copyright information and all that jazz. So very similar to Lightroom. In all respects. I mean, it's really the same kind of creature in a little bit different rearrangement. So I want to import all images. So I don't select any because then it'll import just the ones you selected. Just select on none of them. And by the way, Capture One at this excluding duplicates thing, if you have this checked and you're importing, it's going to be slow if there's other files in there. I'm not sure how they declare what is a duplicate, but the searching algorithm is painful. So I am a big fan of unchecking that box. It just doesn't work that well. And you see where it's going to put it. It's going to put it right into Q Photos, Capture One Sessions, and then 2006, 27, Gabby and Holland dresses, and then under Capture. So that's exactly where everything goes, is into the Capture folder. Now I'm going to go ahead and click Import and let this run, and then I'm going to chat for a moment here. So remember, Capture One puts everything in the Capture folder. Everything. It doesn't make any determinations about how things work. It just dumps it all in there. Now, it's going to take a minute because I have a few different configurations the way my drives work, so you won't see this hesitation that I do, but I'm not really worried about it. Okay, so our import process is now done, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit my tilde key, which is what I have set to either display an image or not display an image. So now we can see it all as a gallery. And it does generate the previews, and it does take time, but once it's done, they'll be pretty fast. So I don't really worry about this. But what I do want to get rid of right away are all these times when the, actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is I always want to keyword my images. And the reason I do that, not because I'm one of these people who's like want to know every keyword possible, but I want to remember who the model was, who did the hair, who did the makeup, and if they did any fashion work, the designer, maybe location. I don't go insane with my keywords, but you have no idea how helpful this is when you export images and then you can use those keywords inside of the Mac OS or the Windows OS to search for tags. So you can say, give me all the images that have this girl in it, and it'll show them to you if you export with keywords. So just take a brief moment and do this. It's super helpful. So click on the first, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and click on the next one. And I'm just going to go into the metadata here. And here's this foundation list, which you can download. I've actually mentioned this in a previous video. And so what I do is I just do it by model. So I'll just go and down to my models. And so I have Gabby here, right there. So click Gabby. And all the ones that are selected would now be Gabby. And this one is Holland to here. By the way, the reason I don't do the deletion first, if you delete these black frames, is every time it tries to keyword all your images, is going to tell you that it can't update some of them because it won't allow things in the trash can to be updated. So then it's going to tell you, hey, there are some that you can't update, and then you got to click OK every single time. So it's just easier to keyword them right now when they're all being displayed. Okay. So I got all those done. I'm going to click Control A to select all of the images. And then I know that all of these have the same fashion designer. That's Christine. And that's enough. So I have the model and have the designer. They all did their own makeup or hair, or I don't know who did it, but it wasn't anyone at my studio. So it's not within my scope of control. So I'm just going to go ahead and now Control click on all these that need to be deleted and click the delete key. And now they're all going to the session trash folder. And I have a few more here. And that one. And the rest of these we're not going to make a decision on these yet. We don't really care. But we know those are obviously gone. That's it. So now I can go back. Everything we've taken so far is still in the capture folder. Everything we've picked or decided we love will be moved to the selects folder, which is currently nothing. Unlike Lightroom, where you're using the P key or the X key to decline an image, or the U key to kind of skip it. This system, when we pick something, there's not really a pick flag, although I rebound my keyboard shortcut so P does the same thing. It will actually physically move the image from the capture folder to the select folder. So we can actually look at this. We can right click and choose Show in Explorer. And right here you see we're in Capture 1. We're in the capture folder, and this has all of our 255 items, and our selects folder has nothing, right? Okay, so let's get to picking. So let's go back into our capture folder, and this is where I would start to do some of my culling, meaning you're going to figure out which images you're going to keep. Now, we shot a ton of stuff, and sometimes I just held the shutter down and shot. There was actually a reason for the shoot today that was not fashion related, and that is that this model's boyfriend is going to propose to her at the studio. So during the fashion shoot, he came in kind of secretly when she was in the dressing room, came out, and then proposed to her. And it was this big thing. And the family came into the back, and it was pretty awesome. If you're wondering, like, why are these a little weird, that'd be the reason. I wasn't really the primary shooter. So now I'm going to try and figure out which ones I want to keep. And so focus is my first thing I'm going to look at. And I use the focus mask here. Now, if you don't have this, you can right click and choose Customize, grab any of these tools here, and you can grab them and drag them up into there. I am going to use the focus mask that I have here already. And if I click on that, it's going to go through and figure out what parts of the image are in focus. So we can see that these are all kind of, in green. Like this image here it's not green around her face. So if I go and I zoom in, you see that it is not in focus. So the focus mask was correct. That image is getting deleted. It's going in the trash because I don't want to keep it, right? There's no reason to keep that one around. This one is obviously in focus. So if we zoom all the way in, we can see that it is indeed in focus. So I use the focus mask as just a quick method from the entire gallery view to determine what is not in focus. So this is not in focus. And you can adjust these settings, by the way, inside of your preferences to determine the tolerance that you would like for the focus mask. But I'll tell you, this is just a time saver. Instead of having to zoom in and look at every one of these images, I can tell right away which ones were not in focus. I was testing a few different lenses that some of the other shooters had. Some of them were just not working real well in my Sony or not working with my style. I'm a back button focus photographer, and some of these just didn't work well. So, and these were lighting tests. So what I do with a lighting test, by the way, is I walk right with the model and I just take a photo right in her face, blurry. And then I look at the histogram and I see how the histogram looks. Because I later on might back up and you see I almost always have a light modifier in the shot just because I like that specific distance. And in situations, the histogram will catch the light in the shot and the histogram kind of lies to me. So I worry most about the exposure on the model's face. So I'll walk right up, blurry, take a picture, don't have to even focus, right in the face, and then check the histogram in the camera and see how I'm doing. So you'll see shots like that from time to time in raw shoots like this, and that'd be the reason why. So I can go ahead and delete these that I know are not in focus based on the focus mask. And that's looking pretty good. These are gone. And if I'm not sure, I won't delete it. But, you know, some of these are fairly obvious that they're not in focus based on, you know, this. So I'll just go through. And this was an experiment where I was having, instead of throwing a dress to the side like everyone else does, I was like, throw it over her head. So I'm not going to use a lot of these, but I bet a couple of these are going to be pretty interesting. All right, so those are really good. Okay, so that's my first pass. And the next pass would be, do I like the pose? So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know, which poses do I like? So if I like this pose, you can select it, and then you can go up here and you can hit this icon here, which is Move Variant, which is what they call an image, to the select folder. I also have that bound to my P key, as I mentioned, so it's my Lightroom equivalent. So I hit P, and it will be gone. And now it is been moved to the selects folder. So then I would go through and I would just look at various images. And if I want to check the focus, remember you can do Control and Space, and that will create a loop. And then you can go and you can check the focus, and you can do that over any of these different images. So you find the ones you're looking for, and you can do it that way. So if I like an image, I can just highlight it and hit P, and I'm going to go through and just find the ones I like. And I did a lot of these actually thinking of upcoming retouching tutorials for the YouTube channel. So I was like, well, I'm doing mostly headshots here. So I like this headshot. I Control Spacebar to check the focus. It's in focus, hit P, and then go down here doing some sort of interesting poses. This was trash, obviously, because oops, I clicked on it, but I didn't select. So this one here is trash. Get rid of that one. And I'm just going through and taking a moment to look at the pose in general, decide if I like it, check the focus real quick, hit P. And this is a very quick process. The reason this has to be quick is because tonight at a little after midnight, everything in my selects folder is going to get copied to 2 other drives, one local and one remote. And I really want this job backed up. Now the capture folder is backed up to a local RAID array. So if my computer were to blow up, I still have another copy of the shoot, including all the trash I didn't like. But the selects are probably the best. Well, they are by definition the best images of that shoot, in my opinion. So I want to make sure that I have them. So I'm going to go through and I want to get my images culled as soon as possible. Good enough. And I'll probably go through these one more time later on. Here's some other things we got to clean up. First of all, we have stuff on our trash now. So if we go and click on trash folder, we see all these 37 images in there. And this is a Sony A7R III. So these are sizable, 55 meg each-ish on our hard drive. So you just go to File and then Empty Session Trash, and they'll delete them. And they're gone. So this is emptying a bunch of other sessions, so I'm not really worried about that. In the meantime, if we go to our select folder, we see I have 13 images here. And those are the 13 that I would like to start retouching. So now I can go through and really look at them and say, of these, like I love this pose. And we are going to do a demo on how to get rid of tan lines. So I checked the focus is great. I love the image. I love the pose, I like the mood. So I will change this to red. Red is my way of saying that I really like this image and I'm going to make sure I retouch this one. but all these other images are pretty decent. I obviously have to do some more pics of the dresses and of Gabby here and of this outfit. So I have a little bit more picking to do, but remember I wasn't the primary shooter, so I wasn't so concerned about it. But I love this picture. This is really nice. I like the light. Again, this is a constant light with a very small modifier, so I was shooting more of a punchy kind of shadow. So I like that one. So I would go ahead and make that one red as well. I have that set to number 5 on my keypad on my keyboard. So now I have all the images that I want to retouch. So far I have 3, and I'll probably end up doing videos of those things. So that is how I do my import. It's very to the point. It is a no-nonsense kind of thing. And again, all of these different folders up here mean different things to me as far as how I back them up. If you're a Lightroom user and you're coming to Capture One, this is how I do my import. And again, it should not be so alien to you, except that the fact that Lightroom handles all the file locations. Capture One puts them in these 4 folders. And that makes it a lot easier to kind of figure your life out. So hey everybody, thanks for sticking around and watching this thing. If you liked it, please click the like button. And if you've watched a few of my videos and you like the content, please click the subscribe. It means a lot to me. And I will catch you all next time. Everybody stay safe.